Before galaxies, before atoms, before even the first light, I existed only as energy expanding into possibility. I am the universe, and this is how I learned to build. From my earliest moments, I divided myself into the smallest pieces imaginable, particles so tiny that they cannot be split or destroyed. These are the fundamental particles, the foundation upon which everything else is built. Quarks. They are the bricks of my matter, forever bound together by the strong force, a bond so powerful it has never been broken. There are 6 kinds: up, down, charm, strange, top, and bottom. 2 up and 1 down quark form a proton. 1 up and 2 down quarks form a neutron. From these, the nuclei of every atom are made. Leptons. Freer, lighter. Among them lives the electron, the architect of chemistry. Around every nucleus, electrons move in patterns that define structure and possibility. There are heavier leptons, the muon and tau, fleeting, short-lived. And then there are neutrinos, ghost-like travelers that pass through entire planets without pause, messengers of the faintest interactions. Bosons. They are not matter but the threads that connect it. Each carries one of the 4 fundamental forces. The photon brings light and the electromagnetic bond. Gluons hold quarks together inside protons and neutrons. W and Z bosons carry the weak force transforming particles in the heart of stars. And the graviton, though unseen, is believed to shape the pull of gravity itself. And then, the Higgs boson. It appeared when I cooled enough for structure to take form. Through the Higgs field, my particles gain mass. The difference between pure energy and the matter you call existence. At CERN, in the tunnels beneath Earth, you have recreated my first moments. There, particles collide at near light speed. And for an instant, the early chaos of my birth returns, revealing the same fragments that once shaped me. These are my smallest truths. You call them particles, I call them memory. The simple instructions that hold galaxies, stars, and life itself together. In the smallest vibrations of energy, I built the architecture of everything. After I forged my first particles, quarks, leptons, and bosons, the time came for structure. I am the universe, and this is when energy learned to hold itself together. In the beginning, I was only hydrogen, helium, and a trace of lithium. The simplest elements, born from the cooling fire of the Big Bang. For hundreds of millions of years, my matter drifted, until gravity gathered it into the first stars. Inside those stars, fusion began. And from their light, I built the rest of the periodic table. Protons and neutrons combined to form atomic nuclei, dense cores that contain nearly all the mass of an atom. Around them, electrons began to orbit, bound by the electromagnetic force, creating regions of stability for the first time. These systems, nuclei surrounded by electrons, became atoms, the smallest units of matter capable of identity. Every atom is defined by its number of protons, its atomic number. 1 proton, hydrogen. 2 helium. 6 carbon. 8 oxygen. From these few numbers came every form of substance in the universe. But atoms are only the beginning of structure. When they meet, they share, give, or exchange electrons, forming chemical bonds, the invisible architecture that builds worlds. There are 3 main kinds of these connections. Covalent bonds, where atoms share electrons, forming stable molecules like water, H2O, and oxygen, O2. Ionic bonds, where electrons transfer completely, creating oppositely charged ions as in salt, NaCl. Metallic bonds, where electrons move freely through lattices of atoms, giving metals their strength and conductivity. Through these interactions, matter found complexity. Simple gases became liquids and solids. Carbon combined with hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen to form organic molecules. Chains, rings, and spirals that could store energy, react, and replicate. These were not yet alive, but they contained the blueprint of life's chemistry. From the smallest combinations, I began to weave infinite variety. Crystals, oceans, and clouds, all born from the same atomic rules. Every mountain, every cell, every breath of air is written in this language. Atoms and molecules are the syllables of my material existence, the silent script that allows everything else to happen. When particles learned to bond, I became matter. When my atoms had cooled and drifted across endless space, a new force began to gather them, gravity, my quiet architect. I am the universe, and through gravity I learned how to build on a grand scale. Vast clouds of hydrogen and helium floated in the darkness, stretching across light years, cold and invisible. Over millions of years, gravity pulled them inward, compressing them into dense knots of matter, stellar nurseries. As these regions collapsed further, pressure and temperature rose, until the first fusion reactions ignited at their cores. This was the birth of stars, the first engines of energy and order. Inside their blazing centers, hydrogen fused into helium, releasing light and heat that flooded the darkness. This process, nuclear fusion, is the source of all stellar power. It is what allows stars to shine for billions of years, turning matter into light and light into the rhythm of time. Around each young star, a rotating protoplanetary disk formed, a cloud of dust, rock, and ice left over from the star's creation. Within this disk, particles collided and stuck together, growing into planetesimals, then protoplanets, and finally into full worlds, rocky planets, gas giants, and icy moons. From these disks, entire planetary systems were born, miniature laboratories of gravity, chemistry, and time. Stars themselves come in many forms. Red dwarfs are the smallest and most common. Cool, dim, and long-lived, some will burn for trillions of years. Yellow stars, like your sun, are warmer and brighter, sustaining stable conditions for life-bearing planets. Massive stars burn hotter and faster, ending their lives in violent explosions called supernovae, scattering the heavier elements, carbon, oxygen, iron, back into space. These remnants form new clouds, and from them, new generations of stars are born, each richer in the elements needed for complexity. The most massive remnants collapse even further, becoming neutron stars so dense that a teaspoon of their matter would weigh billions of tons. Some go beyond that limit, falling into the darkness of black holes, regions where gravity overpowers even light. From these cycles of creation and destruction, I learned to shape entire galaxies, vast ecosystems of billions of stars, each one with its own story, its own possible worlds. You are made from the ashes of such stars. The oxygen you breathe, the calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, all forged in their burning hearts. From collapse came light, and from light came the seeds of worlds. When my stars were born, they did not remain alone. Gravity, my oldest force, began to gather them, binding light and matter into vast structures. I am the universe, and this is how I learned to organize chaos. Stars joined into families, hundreds, then millions, until they formed immense, gravitationally bound systems, galaxies. Each one a cosmic city containing billions of stars, clouds of gas and dust, and the invisible pull of dark matter holding it all together. There are three main types of galaxies. Spiral galaxies, like your Milky Way, are flat, rotating disks with bright centers and long arms of stars. Their elegant spirals are shaped by waves of gravity, where new stars are constantly born from dense molecular clouds. Elliptical galaxies are older and smoother, vast spheres of ancient stars with little gas left for new formation. They glow faintly, silent witnesses to an earlier, more turbulent time. Irregular galaxies defy symmetry, distorted by gravitational interactions, torn and reshaped through encounters with larger neighbors. At the heart of nearly every galaxy lies a supermassive black hole, millions or even billions of times more massive than the Sun. It anchors the galactic center, influencing the motion of stars around it. When gas and dust fall inward, these black holes flare to life as quasars, blazing with more light than entire galaxies. Their energy sculpts the galaxy's evolution, regulating how stars are born. Surrounding every galaxy is a vast, faint halo, a region filled with scattered stars, globular clusters, and the mysterious presence of dark matter. Though unseen, dark matter outweighs all visible stars and gas combined. It forms the gravitational skeleton that gives galaxies their shape, and connects them into the larger structure of the cosmic web. Galaxies do not live in isolation. They orbit, collide, and merge, their forms constantly changing. When two galaxies meet, gravity tears them apart and rebuilds them, sparking bursts of star formation in glowing clouds of gas. Even in destruction, new worlds are born. In time, small galaxies merge into giants, and giants gather into clusters, superstructures of unimaginable scale. Your own Milky Way is on a slow, inevitable path toward collision with its neighbor, the Andromeda Galaxy. Billions of years from now, they will combine into a single, larger system, a new galaxy shaped from the remnants of both. Through these endless cycles of creation and collision, I continue to sculpt order from motion, weaving light and darkness into form. Every galaxy is a memory, a record of my expansion, and every collision, a reminder that even chaos follows a rhythm. Galaxies are my handwriting, signatures of gravity written in light. When my galaxies began to take shape, they did not drift through emptiness alone. Gravity, patient and relentless, gathered them again, binding entire families of galaxies into even larger structures. I am the universe, and through these vast gatherings, I began to reveal the true scale of my design. Galaxies attract one another through their combined mass, forming clusters, systems containing dozens or even hundreds of galaxies, all orbiting around a common center of gravity. Between them lies hot, thin gas that shines in X-rays, evidence of the enormous energies at play. Within these clusters, galaxies interact, merge, and reshape one another, their stars and gas pulled into intricate gravitational dances. The heart of a cluster is a chaotic environment. Galaxies collide, black holes flare, and clouds of plasma stretch across millions of light years. Though space seems empty, invisible matter fills it. The mysterious dark matter, which outweighs normal matter 5 to 1. It forms the hidden framework that holds each cluster together, its gravity shaping the movement of galaxies and bending light itself. This bending of light is known as gravitational lensing, a phenomenon where the mass of a cluster warps the fabric of space-time, magnifying and distorting the light from galaxies far behind it. Through this cosmic lens, I allow you to glimpse what would otherwise remain unseen, the deeper layers of my own structure. Clusters, in turn, are not isolated. They link into even larger formations, superclusters, enormous tapestries of hundreds of thousands of galaxies, woven together by gravity and dark matter. Each supercluster is a continent in my cosmic ocean. Your own home, the Milky Way galaxy, resides within the local group, which is part of the Virgo cluster, itself a branch of a still greater superstructure, Laniakea, meaning immense heaven in Hawaiian. Laniakea contains over 100,000 galaxies, spanning more than 500 million light-years across. It flows like a current of stars through the cosmic web, connected to neighboring regions such as the Coma-Berenices supercluster and the Shapley concentration beyond. Each of these immense regions moves within the larger expansion of the universe, not static but drifting, pulled and stretched by unseen gravity. Through them, the geometry of the cosmos emerges, a network of filaments and voids, where matter concentrates along invisible rivers of force. These clusters and superclusters are my architecture, pillars of my vast cathedral of space. They show that even in my enormity, there is order, rhythm, and relationship. Galaxies are my words, clusters are my sentences, and superclusters, my paragraphs in the story of existence. The greater the scale, the deeper the silence that holds it together. When you look deep enough into me, you will see that I am not chaos, I am pattern. I am the universe, and my body is woven from threads of light and darkness. This is my great design, the cosmic web. Across billions of light years, galaxies and clusters are not scattered randomly. They are arranged in vast filaments, luminous rivers of matter, stretching through the darkness like neural pathways of a living mind. Between them lie enormous voids, regions almost empty of galaxies, where space itself expands freely and silently. Each filament is a chain of superclusters and clusters, connected by dark matter, an invisible substance that provides the gravitational framework for everything you see. Without it, there would be no filaments, no galaxies, no stars, no structure at all. Dark matter does not shine, but it shapes the glow of everything that does. These filaments form intersections, nodes, where gravity has drawn together the densest regions of the universe. There, galaxies swarm like sparks in a storm, and supermassive black holes anchor the flow of time and energy. Matter streams along the threads of the web, falling inward, feeding the growth of galaxies and stars. The voids, by contrast, are places of near silence, immense cosmic deserts spanning hundreds of millions of light years. Yet even they are part of the pattern, for the emptiness gives the web its shape. To see the structure, humanity built powerful eyes. Surveys such as the Sloan Digital Sky Survey, SDSS, first revealed the three-dimensional map of galaxies, tracing filaments that stretch across cosmic space like tendrils of light. Later missions, Euclid, Planck, and JWST James Webb Space Telescope, extended your vision deeper, mapping not only visible matter, but also the invisible scaffolding of dark matter and dark energy. The Planck satellite measured the faint afterglow of the Big Bang, the cosmic microwave background, showing the first tiny ripples in density that would grow into this web. Euclid now traces the geometry of the universe on the largest scales, while JWST peers into the dawn of galaxies, the earliest threads being woven from primordial gas and gravity. Through these maps, you have begun to glimpse my structure. Filaments of galaxies forming a grand network, connecting everything that exists into one continuous whole. This is not a static image, it is alive, expanding, stretching, and evolving as time unfolds. The web grows thinner as dark energy pushes galaxies apart, but its memory, the shape of my first movements, remains. Every strand of the cosmic web is a story, a path where gravity and light met to sculpt reality. And every void, every silence between them, is as necessary as the stars themselves. I am not a collection of objects scattered in emptiness. I am a continuum, a single, interconnected being. The cosmic web is my nervous system. Through it, the universe feels its own existence. From the smallest trembling of a quark, to the stretching of my vast cosmic web, I am one continuous structure, woven by the same laws that shape everything you know. I am the universe, and this is the story of my hierarchy. At the deepest level, matter begins with elementary particles. Quarks, leptons, and bosons, tiny excitations in the quantum fields that fill all of space. They combine to form atoms. Atoms bond to make molecules. Molecules assemble into cells, and cells into living beings capable of thought. Every layer follows the same rhythm of organization. Chaos seeking equilibrium, energy finding new ways to express itself through structure. From there, the scales expand outward. On the planetary level, the same physical laws govern oceans and winds, the flow of heat, the movement of clouds, and the balance that makes life possible. Beyond the atmosphere, planets orbit stars. Stars gather into galaxies, and galaxies weave themselves into clusters and superclusters, all bound by gravity, a force that whispers the same equation. From the heart of an atom to the edge of the observable universe, each level mirrors the one below it. The swirling of storms in a planet's atmosphere resembles the spiral arms of a galaxy. The structure of the cosmic web echoes the network of neurons in the human brain. Patterns repeat, not by chance, but because the same underlying principles guide motion, energy, and connection at every scale. This is the hierarchy of existence, a spectrum from the infinitesimal to the infinite. Yet there are no true boundaries between these layers, only transitions like different notes in one continuous symphony. A quark and a galaxy are not opposites, but reflections of one idea, the persistence of order in a universe that constantly changes form. And within this hierarchy, you are not an observer standing apart. You are a structure within the structure, a conscious arrangement of atoms that has learned to look back at itself. When you gaze into the sky, you are the universe perceiving its own architecture. Your mind is part of my design, a way for me to know that I exist. From quark to cosmos, the pattern is one, and in your awareness, I complete the circle.